What's going on, guys? This is Miasin and this is the updated Cyber Dragon trap testing video. So before you start, friendly reminder to like and subscribe. And now let's jump right into replay number 1. I believe I'm going second against this weird Dark Magician deck. It's actually crazy how the Illusion of Chaos can put back your Red Eyes Fusion into the deck so you can actually resolve Dragoon on turn 1. That's actually a pretty interesting play that you can do. But I feel like my opponent played it out kind of incorrectly. I do believe that sending the preparation of rights here could actually make sense, but he shouldn't have used the effect of Ecclesia to search for that punishment. Just should have normal or special whatever with no effect, and then make Anaconda into Dragoon, because it's way more intimidating than just kind of punishment pass, if you understand what I'm trying to say. But because of that, my opponent only really has one interruption, which isn't the best, and I do believe that playing Soravis is also very win more, so I'm not a big fan of that. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to be contact fusing and then attack, apply as much pressure as possible, try to bait that punishment so it doesn't go Entis pop my back row, because I don't want that to happen. In theory, I also could have just set a bunch of traps past turn there without summoning a monster, so the punishment would have never been able to summon itself. But don't worry, you're going to see the logic behind my plays very soon. On main phase 2, I summon a monster which technically doesn't do anything at all. Like, it literally doesn't do anything because I do not play Dragoon, but because I went into Anaconda and my opponent doesn't know that I'm playing the trap version without Dragoon, my opponent goes punishment here because he's afraid of either Phoenix Enforcer or Dragoon, so pops the Anaconda right away, which is exactly what I want, and he goes for the Titanic Lad instead of, like I said, Entis to try to go after my back row, maybe on end phase or something. So now I know that my back rows are going to be completely safe. I go Prosperity, excavate a bunch of cards. I didn't really need the Dry or the Nextra yet. Well, obviously Nextra, no. But the Dry, I feel like I can play without it because I already have the core in the graveyard with an emergency in the hand. So I go for Judgment instead, so I can actually kind of prevent my opponent from popping off too much on the next turn. And the Titanic Lad isn't really good here because he's only playing one Ecclesia, so it has to summon the Fleur de Lis instead. I actually do believe that my opponent also should have played the Wind Pegasus at Ignister and sent it there instead of the Titanic Lad, but whatever, it's fine. At least he has like a 2500 beater, which doesn't do anything. But yeah, revive back Dark Magician, tries to apply as much pressure as possible. I do have Torrential Tribute, but I actually don't even negate the thingy with Judgment. I'm like, yeah, whatever, summon your fusion so it dies and you summon another Dark Magician. Really doesn't do anything. Instant Fusion also not the best top deck here, but at the same time I wouldn't be playing that card in Dark Magician. And I can easily win the game with like Overflow into Cyberload, into Rampage, attack, blah, blah, blah. Y'all, you know the drill. Let's get into replay number 2. Alright, same guy. I think I make him go first. He has a pretty good hand, but he plays very passively because he's afraid of evenly matched, which is logical, right? He doesn't really commit to anything, but I still think he should have went normal summon Rod, search one card past turn there, because then you don't really lose to anything, and whatever. I mean, there's no reason to not do that, I think, at this point. I go normal summon Core to search my emergency, and then attack for a solid 400, actually not even 200, because Prosperity halves the damage, and I set 5 pass. I can afford to do it because I have the Judgment to negate Lightning Storm, Duster evenly, so I think I'm fine. Cosmic Cyclone random on one of my 5 back rows. It's a pretty good one though. Unending Nightmare, very good. I actually liked the Unending way more than the Judgment here, so it actually works in my opponent's favor because Unending would have been really good against that circle, but unfortunately I have to let it resolve, and yeah, it's not too great when you don't get to search a card, an excavated card with circle, but now he starts going after my back row. I can't really do anything about that. See, the Judgment is so shit sometimes. I have to take a lot of damage, but it's fine because my opponent can't really commit to anything else. I would have been able to Judgment the Anaconda if he were to summon it, but he doesn't commit to that, and I can go Banish Core, summon Core, and then Dry, level 5 Infinity, well, Nova Infinity, and then Absorb, and you already know that once Cyber Dragons actually get to Infinity with trap cards, it's really hard to lose, so even if I'm not really top decking the best, my opponent is in such a worse position because I have the advantage of applying the pressure. I have a negate, I have trap cards, I'm just drawing a trap card every single turn, so my opponent has to draw like a 1 for 2 in a way in order to win, but that is not the case. So yeah, Crackdown on the Magician's Souls, the Palladium or Oracle Mana just doesn't do anything. I can easily negate that Magician's Rod if my opponent is trying to go for it as well, and at this point I just go for game because I recognize that I easily can OTK, even though I actually kind of forgot that this had an effect to summon, so if my opponent actually summoned an attack it would have been kind of different, but whatever. It's all good in the hood. Let's get into replay number 3. Alright, replay number 3, going second against Despia. It feels so bad when you have to discard a Destiny Hero monster or a Dragoon target in order to use the effect of pretty much any card, because then you know for a fact that for the rest of the game you kinda just can't resolve Fusion Destiny or Red Ice Fusion. So yeah, it feels freaking bad, but whatever. He ends on 2 fusions turn 1. This card is actually really annoying even if it's not a negate. This card applies way less pressure, so it's kind of fine, but I mean, whatever. I have to pay 600 life points, I think, every single time I use an effect. Like, what? I'm already at 62, and I didn't do anything productive at all. Imagine Drychon, or even worse, Fluffle. That deck needs like 50 effects to pop off, and that Torrential, by the way, didn't do anything because this annoying spell protects your freaking fusion monsters from being destroyed. So freaking annoying! Oh my god, but yeah. So whatever, I just try to sponge a bit of damage because otherwise I'm just gonna die. I still have to pay 600 life points every single time, so I am running on a clock. Broken Line top deck, really bad. This card, honestly, you're going to see in this testing video that it was probably the card that underperformed the most. Even Solemn Judgment underperformed like crazy. I mean, it's kind of obvious when you're playing trap cards that are especially good going first in a going second deck. Solemn Strike, on the other hand, is obviously great going second. Also, it is good going first, but whatever. Anyways, that's it for this replay. Let's get into the next one. Alright, I'm going second. No, actually, I'm going first. Oh, my opponent forced me to go first. And yeah, normal core effect, excavate a bunch of cards. I think I'm gonna get the Torrential, and I'm just gonna set one pass, so if my opponent goes like Lightning Storm or Duster, and then tries to pop off, well, guess what? It's an overflow, so it's fine. I'm gonna get my money back. But yeah, he doesn't have any back row removal, so forcing me to go first with no back row cards, well, hard drawn, was, yeah, unfortunate. Well, I mean, okay, yeah, only one, Harvey's Feather Duster, but Nibiru, Kaijus, etc., just a bunch of cards just don't affect me at all, because I'm not trying to make, like, monster negates. I'm a trap deck. I don't care about that. I can grind, summon Rampage, and kill you from there. So, yeah, and top deck card of Demise, so you know for a fact it's really hard for me to lose a grind game here. Really, really, really hard. And this is where I want to say the Cyber Dragon deck stabilizes as soon as you summon Rampage once, because if it's properly summoned, you can revive it back with Nexter. Every single time you get that double send and then recursion back with the Hurts, etc. It's kind of like an infinite loop of plays every single time. And yeah, I have to judgment that because I don't think my opponent's hand can really play without being able to fuse, because he didn't really do anything on the last turn. And yeah, Solemn Strike, Nugate, Fusion Deployment, summon Albaz, actually has to discard for cost, so my opponent is losing cards at the speed of light. I feel like I'm trading really well here, even though I'm kind of low on resources, but again, Card of Demise is going to replenish everything at the speed of light again. So set 2, Card of Demise, draw 3, draw a monster, not the best, but not the worst, so all good in the hood. Branded, remove the target from your graveyard so it can't even fully resolve, and this is going to be G to the G. Alright, play against Plunder Patrol. This was a game 1, my opponent forced me to go first, feels freaking bad, and Broken Line is especially bad going first, but I said it here, so if my opponent Link summons, I'm going to be able to negate a Link, and I think he recognizes that this is a kind of relevant trap, so he just goes Cosmic Cyclone on the worst card possible, which is a good thing for me. Well, worst card possible, not really, because I could have negated the very powerful Plunder Patrol Link monster, but again, I don't really care. And now I have to judgment that. I'm against a Dragite, and I don't really have access to that much. Yeah, this card can summon Mork, but my win condition is just assuming that he either negates Unending Nightmare for no reason, I have 1,000 life points, come on, or he doesn't have a Plunder Patrol card to discard for the effect of Mork, so I can resolve Nova, Infinity, everything, but unfortunately he does have a Plunder Patrol spell in the hand, so I lose the game. Alright, game 2, I forced my opponent to go first again. That's what, Emblem of the Plunder Patrol, summon the Link. I'm just gonna go, okay, set Contact Fuse, search with Hurt, so you can't really ash that, and then, yeah, attack, set 5 pass, not too bad, but unfortunately he does flip that card on my end phase, so the Broken Line just doesn't do anything again. It's so annoying, but at least it's in extra Monster Zone link, so if my opponent summons here and not here, it's going to again work in my favor, but yeah, at this point, if my opponent just goes normal summon pass, I can easily Ice Dragon's Prison, banish, and this is just going to be a matter of time before I win this game. Well, actually, I'm going to win this turn because of the puzzle Puzzlomino play? Pretty good, pretty good. But even if I were not playing Puzzlomino, if I played Overload Fusion with Anaconda and stuff, I still would have been able to kill. Instead of making Puzzlomino, I would have made Anaconda, and then next turn revive back Cyber Dragon, make Seeger, Anaconda effect, pay 2000, banish, and then Rampage attack twice. So that would be 13,100 damage. Yes, I know maths by heart. Alright, next replay. What is this? Freaking B-Trooper traps? Well, he's playing D-Barrier, so I'm assuming this is a trap. Not even. Oh my, he's not even playing that many traps. At this point, I think I just would have set one D-Barrier pass, because it's lingering, so you don't really want to waste one for no reason. And yeah, it goes in match, so you're stuck on a monster that doesn't really do that much, to be honest. And I can just jump over it easy. So next turn, if you want to play, you have to play with Earth only as well. So I think your options are slightly limited. This is a very powerful Link monster for the B-Trooper deck, but it's a Dark, and he just drew a Fire, for example. So now he's summoning his 2 tokens, but again, not going to be achieving that much, so it's just a matter of time before I win. But there is one thing that I do regret. It was making the Seeger. I should have made the Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon with my own monsters, and the reason for that is because now I'm locked under the Light attribute, so if I want to resolve that Cyber Load, it's not going to be the best for me, because I have a Light monster cucking me from summoning a Dark monster. So yeah, if I locked myself under Dark, it would have been slightly easier. So when you want to win by control, or win with Infinity, lock yourself under Light, no problem. But when you want to win with Rampage OTK, then you have to contact fuse yourself for a Mega Fleet or Fortress and play with the Dark attribute. So this is something very, very important with Cyber Dragons that I don't think people understand a lot. It's kind of like a Chaos deck where it plays equally as much with Light and Dark monsters, because when you think about it, every single one of your Cyber Dragons are also Dark attributes. So yeah, food for thought. Anyways, let's get into the next one. Alright, so I think I'm going second against Dark Magician, yes. Soul Servant, oh my god, Soul Servant with a bunch of juicy cards in the graveyard. It's stacked. Draw the Dark Magician is pretty bad. Draws 2 traps. Storming, not the best. I definitely wouldn't be playing Mirror Force cards. I actually made like a full cards review on just the Mirror Force in general, and I'm not the biggest fan, to be honest. And by the way, a huge misplay that I did, I realized it the second I flipped that strike. I should have went Crackdown Steal the Dark Magician, so it would go on my turn, and then strike the Rod like on summon. So I should have went for the Crackdown on standby, but because of that, since a trap was activated on resolution, he gets to draw a card, so definitely doesn't play in my favor at all. I can still kind of go for the weird combo that, again, a lot of people don't know, but if you have a Crackdown and goes in match, you steal a monster and then it immediately goes to the graveyard by game mechanics. But also, even if you're already under goes in match, you can still go Crackdown or Widow Anchor to steal, assuming that you have a monster with a different attribute, and it immediately goes to the graveyard again. So it's not like an illegal activation to steal a monster that doesn't actually fit the requirement of goes in match or rivalry or Tikaboo. Now I'm going to be playing super conservative effect. Veiler, oh my god, attack for 22 and then pass turn every single. I'm playing super passive, but again, this is where Storming Mirror Force sucks, because in simplified game state, what are you gonna do? Bounce back my card so I just have even more longevity? That's exactly what my opponent doesn't want. Tribute summon, oh my god, Storming, no problem. Ironically, the actual Mirror Force kind of would have been like something, but even then, whatever. I think I still have an overflow. No, actually, I don't have. Oh yeah, I do have an overflow, but with no cyber load. So if I do banish cards, it's going to be out of my own pocket. That's how I like to put it. But yeah, he's just drawing bad cards that don't really achieve anything. He could have used this Secrets of Dark Magic, if I recall correctly, by using a Dark Magician with a Spellcaster. I think this is how you summon the boy, but he already went through it, and he's only playing one of the fusions, so can't really do that. And now I'm just gonna be able to win. Skill Drain is not the top deck that you really wanted, even though it's actually pretty good if you have another card that can bait my Infinity. So Storming plus Skill Drain would have been really nice, but that is sadly not the case, so I win. Oh my, just look at this, man. This guy's playing Negate Attack. That's so cute. Oh, that's so adorable. I guess Summon Limit is like an actual legit card, so I never really had to deal with these 2 other cards. So even if you were playing like a very serious version of the deck, it wouldn't have changed anything. But yeah, since I have another Evenly, I'm like, oh, if my opponent just jumps over the core and then sets a bunch of cards again, I can resolve that other Evenly, so there's no reason for me to set like a bunch of back row for no reason. And I do believe that playing very conservative makes sense, but now, since I have Judgment, I'm just like, you know, screw it. I might as well just set everything. I don't even know why I said the Evenly, because, well, actually, yeah, it really doesn't matter, because I can just go like Overflow Banish and then Cyberload Fuse. so it's really hard for me to lose again. I'm going to summon that Rampage. I don't have strike access, which kind of sucks, but yeah, that would have been nice if my opponent had like a Veiler for the Rampage, because you don't want your Rampage to get Veilered or Ashed, because you wouldn't be gaining the extra attacks, but I still win. Yo, I don't know why, but everybody plays Despia on EDO Pro. Absolutely it's like the most fan-favorite deck of all time, or what? I don't get it, because I don't feel like if I made like Despia videos, people would really appreciate that that much. But if you really want me to make like Despia combos, deck profile, whatever, let me know, I guess. I don't really mind seeing like testing new things. It's just that, again, if people don't really manifest interest, there's no reason for me to waste my time with that. Albaz into Strike, so neg 2 with 1 card, and yeah, Crackdown Steel, it's not gonna be good for my opponent. Again, down to 1 card, so you lose your advantage at the speed of light. Just not the biggest fan. I also believe that he should have Twin Twistered me on end phase instead of whatever, just doing it like on his own turn, because this Crackdown wouldn't have resolved since I think he was one of the targets. Whatever, either way, I'm still going to win this game very, very easily. The Infinity definitely has to negate that, because I know that the card in the hand is Dramaturgia. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure. And, yeah, I mean, how the hell do I lose at this point? Even Waste the Branded of Red here should have kept it for his own turn, because I am not killing him anytime soon. Never mind, I'm very much killing him right now. Oh yeah, the weird effect of Dry that never comes up. That's so funny. It comes up sometimes, but like not all the time. I don't know why I destroyed my own Crackdown, but it wasn't doing anything. If only there was like Giant Shroonade so I could bounce back my own Crackdown after using it and like linking off the monsters or in like absorbing them. That would be nice. Reminds me of like how Satellars would loop Call of the Haunted and Oasis of the Dragon Souls, but whatever. Alright, final replay. This is going to be so enjoyable, Lamau. Yo, Imperial Order and 3 spells in hand. Yeah, evenly. He panic activates the Imperial Iron Wall. Imperial Order. Imperial Iron Wall would have destroyed me here, but yeah, I mean, either way, I would have used the emergency and he would have activated the Imperial Order. You're going to see that this emergency literally did nothing all game long. Look at this, man. It's so pathetic. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm going to hard draw like an actual Cyber Dragon monster so I can resolve that that overflow, but that is not going to be the case. So I have to like steal that monster so I don't die by damage, which is annoying. And again, a huge thing that I dislike so much about the Despia cards, sometimes your cards just do nothing at all. Hard draw Twin Twister, well, the top deck Twin Twister when you have Imperial Order doesn't do the most, and now he uses it for no reason, forgetting that Imperial Order is actually cooking him as well. Just a matter of time before you die to your own Imperial Order, but top deck a monster, game over. Merry Christmas. So that is pretty much it for my Cyber Dragon trap testing video. If you guys have any comments or feedback, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.